Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today it's a bit of a lesson or tip I guess from my experience. And what it is about, it's going to be targets versus projections, and for me it's two different things, right? So most people would assume, look, wherever you think price will go, that's where you put your targets in terms of long-term projections, or mostly it comes to, let's say, extended targets. But for me it's my philosophy, I guess, I take it in a bit of a different approach. I take it more conservative approach. So I'm gonna give an example here on the dollar Swiss and what it looks like. So obviously this candle's still in progress and we haven't closed below this support, but let's assume we are, and we have on the 60. We've closed below this level, so you think, look, we can go lower, right? Now, where do you think we can go lower to? Well, there's three levels that stand out to me. There's this one as the first one, second, and then third. So that's the three levels that I project that will actually provide some support. Now, realistically, I think we can reach this level, these lows. Don't know why I draw them from here, but sure. Right, I think we can reach these lows, and that is my ultimate projection. Like, I do think price will get there. However, these little levels here on the daily, and they'll be clearer, let's say on the 60, there'll be even more on the 60 here probably, right? These levels I expect some support at. So these levels are ones where I expect, let's say, a bounce like this, and then a bounce like this. Well, I can't even draw. But I expect that, but ultimately I'm expecting the price to go down. So for me, as a conservative trader and someone that likes to sort of just take his money in and out, I guess, I would have targets at these levels. So if I was involved, let's say here, I'm playing this break and I got involved, let's say on the hourly, because it would be cleaner, right? We come back, we pull back here, assuming so anyway, and I enter whatever. Here's my target, my stop, sorry. And then my target, I would not play for a target all the way down here. For target twos, I mean, target ones would always be a retest for me, but target twos, I don't personally feel comfortable taking it all the way down here, because for me that means I have to get this support level broken and this support level broken, whether they're weak or not. I just don't feel comfortable. So I would have, let's say, target 2, let's say here, right, assuming it's far enough away from target 1 to be worth it, or here. So that would be my actual target 2 projection. So it's something for you to think about and implement in your trading. And I'll probably, let's see, go down on the 1 hour, see how these zones look, because I'm very curious, because I do look at my zones on the hourly as well. And here, I mean, you see it much clearer, the little zone. So if anything, this one looks really nice here. So let me see. You remember that inside level I was talking about? It turns out to be actual sort of support as well. And then here, this is what we look like as well. So very nice levels. And I do think we can go lower. So I'm actually excited this as an opportunity in itself. I feel like it is quite a good one. Assuming we close below as well on the daily would make it even better. But it's a quick little lesson for target projection and target taking. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean you know, your target has to be there, because what you can do is, let's say, I'm going to draw on the far up because it'll probably look smoother, or yeah, so it doesn't really matter what I'm drawing it on. But let's say we pull back here, you take target off here. Well, your projection is still that we can go lower. So what you can do now is play this pullback, assuming we break. This wick is going to mess up my example a little bit, but assume we break this low and we've got a new low, then we pull back again. Well, you can get involved for a second opportunity, right, with target down here, and then you can go back up, ride it, and then eventually come back down to here. And then here, if we pull back again, it's all ifs and thens, but if we pull back, then you decide if you're looking for a retest or not. We just had a discussion of that in the live room, but as it is a major level, for me it wouldn't be. But look how much extra pips you can actually get from that in a way. I mean, I'm probably going to have to do live maths right now, so I'm going to take it, just catch this move, make it green or red, green, whatever. So assuming you take targets off at let's say one position, you do like this. So you take your entry here and you put a target all the way out your projection. Well, that's how much profit you can make. And this is on position 2. I'm always conservative with my position 1. I always look for a retest, so I'm only doing it for example purposes. But here's what it can look like with actual separate targets. So you can have this one, target 1, as in your first position. Then we go from here to there, right? And then third line, we go from here to here. So because you're actually catching these pullbacks, and obviously this, you don't have to exit your full position, you can play these pullbacks as well. But look how much more profit actually this ends up being. Alright, I'll have to scroll all the way down and you'll see we're almost doubling our profits. Now again, there's pros and cons to each because we might never get these pullbacks, right? So obviously there's always pros and cons, but also another thing is these are more likely to hit because they're chunks. So this will hit, and then this might hit, and then this might hit, and I don't know why I said this will hit. Just silly me, I guess, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, these are more likely to hit because they're smaller chunks. You're not expecting the whole move to happen, and because there's these support levels in the way, it's more realistic. And for me, I just feel more comfortable doing it like that. It turns out to be more profitable as well. And yeah, like I said, it suits me better just because I like to be in and out the markets much quicker. I don't want to be waiting in the trade. I don't want price to, let's say, come to this level when I've got target down here and then just start moving sideways, yeah, and then eventually I'm waiting and then boom, we get stopped out for break even or something. I would rather just lock my profits in and then adjust and adapt to what the market is giving me. So that's my little philosophy. I'm glad the example actually turned out to be more profitable because in reality it is. Hence, like a lot of pro traders do tend to, let's say, add their onto their position on the pullbacks. Again, obviously you can trail stops as well, doing various things. There's so many ways to approach it. There's so many, yeah, like, there's so many ways you could just get creative. And you have to find what suits you, but that's my approach, that's my philosophy. I personally don't like actually trailing the, what's it called, the actual swings, and I'll tell you why. Because if anything, I try and avoid them. As dumb as that sounds, say I was getting involved in this pullback and my projection is all the way down here, I tend to look at my targets and I tend to be out of my position before we even get these pullbacks. Now if we do, obviously you contemplate moving your stops above this outside return. I just don't. There's pros and cons, and I'd rather just stick with my initial entry. It's risk free anyway. For me, locking in an extra 20 pips is not that crucial. I'd rather just see it play out. Again, personal preference, but the way my targets are so conservative, so I will have like a target here. I'll be out of my position and look to get involved in this pullback rather than trailing above it. And it's one of these things where, like I said, I probably most of the time I'm out before we get pullbacks. It either just hits my stop loss or it goes down to my target fairly cleanly or without putting any, you know, new lows and outside returns, because that's how conservative my target taking is, I guess. And it is something to work on in terms of if I want more aggression, more pips and all of them things. But pros and cons, philosophy on market. So hope you found some value in this lesson. If you did, just give it a like, share, subscribe, all of them things. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. So in a bit.